taking the opportunity today to talk about energy and history. And I cannot even think of someone who could be better for this day than Jesus. Not talking from a religious perspective, I'm talking from a wisdom and loving perspective, okay? And I consider that no matter who you follow to, if you follow any religion, if you follow any spiritual movement, if you don't believe in anything, I think we can agree that this man or this being, it was one of the most important and like the most important teachers that we could think of in humanity and for humanity. And his message has transcended time and space. So it's just to honor that. It's just not going from a religious way. We are not talking about this. We are talking about honoring the being and the person that he was. I would love to say so many things, and whatever comes, I would just say. First of all, one of the most important things to consider is that if he was so wise and so loving, he was not lonely in his path. He probably has his to his side. He has one of the greatest women as well that humanity has seen as well. I would say it's a point of view, but it makes so much sense that this person needed to have his the opposite gender following him, supporting him in his mission to actually balance the energy. And I think it's also time for all of us, and for with all the respect, I'm saying this from all the respect, it's time to do not see him anymore in a cross. Of course, the symbol is gonna be for eternity, but I'm actually sad to see one of the greatest teachers in humanity all the time, like suffering that cross. When we go and see this kind, we go to a church or something. This should be a place to respect him in a way and to see him in a way of all the time loving, wise, laughing, or actually enjoying his journey. He was suffering as well, of course. It was part of the journey, as all of us, we suffer sometimes. But I would say his message and what he was trying to teach us, it was beyond the last minutes and the last hours and the last days that he needed to pass through. That was, of course, was wisdom, as we all need to go through some, controversial times in our lives. We cannot compare what this person went through. But I would say it's time to see him in another way, to more closer to us, laughing more, enjoying more charismatic. I would say like a wise person will be charismatic, will be his presence will be enjoyable, and his presence will be like laughing as well. It's just a point of view. I'm saying this from all the respect to all religions and all point of views. But yeah, I would say even for the new generations, like seeing his image in a supposed to be a spiritual place, the majority of the time, this master and this teacher like suffering in this way. I don't know. I don't agree on that. The symbol, of course, the symbol will be with all of us for eternity again. But I consider that we could see him in another way, and that's why I'm creating this message to honoring him with my, tiny thing, tiny idea, tiny expression. And yeah, is one of the most important things. His wisdom, his love, his willingness to help his brothers and sisters, as he was saying, you know. We can say so many things about him, and how it was, many of his messages were like manipulated. I will encourage you, if you want to go further, do not believe in what I say, but go further into research. Go to apocryph scripts, for example, that it represents a completely different Jesus. Was way closer, way more human, way more teaching all our flaws, and the things that he passed through as well, as human as well. Okay. And even his image was actually manipulated in the Renaissance time. Just giving you an example, people were paying, in Spanish we say mecenas, I don't know exactly the name in English, but it was people, really rich people, that they pay for painters to paint them. And this is historical. Some people paid to be put in the pictures of as Jesus, the image of Jesus, and they were just rich people that they were paying to these painters to get these paints, and people still believe like Jesus was like this. There's nothing wrong, it's history. Please make your own conclusions, make your own research, but today is a time to maybe be a critical thinkers about his story, and just keep what he could have considered that was the most important thing: the love, the wisdom, and the joy as well. Of course, wise joy, loving joy. And just a question that I would love to share is, what do you consider that who killed Jesus? Because of course we can talk about the 3D, right? Like the Jews, the Romans, their own people, their betrayed from his own people. We can talk about this, but I would say in a more spiritual way, what I consider that really kills Jesus, what the ignorance of everyone, or all these people, like they were not seeing, instead of like seeing the wise man, the wise words, the loving actions, they were seeing always how I can smash this guy, to instead of seeing, wow, this guy is like, I have no idea what maybe he pretend with this, but he's saying beautiful and wise things, at least to recognize that, right? But many people at that time, they were like trying to literally to kill him because of the truth that he was saying. Wow. Could happen these days as well with other teachers that we have or something. I don't know, but I would say that we should pay attention to these big teachers, the messages that they left behind for us, and not so focused on the label that later people put it on them. This is Buddhist, this is Christian, like all religions. Just let's stay with the wisdom. Let's recognize the teachers, not because our society or even parents and life has given us, but the wisdom that we consider that is in their words, in their words. This is the most important thing, I would say. This, at least, is just my point of view. But if I can help you to open your mind and open your heart on this and transcend what religions and labels that you need to believe, this goes beyond. This is going to another realm. This is going to closer to heaven. Heaven is just a state of mind, a state of consciousness, state of heart, I would even say. And just to honor the wisdom and the love of everyone who has been in the planet. That's the most important thing, I would say. And the ones to come. Because maybe some of you are going to be a super example in the near future for all of us. With your flaws, with your things. We all have light and darkness. But it's our decisions that makes the difference. All these teachers, they had light and darkness. All of them, they had their light and darkness. But they were their decisions, what they made them being closer to heaven, or closer to God, or closer to the origin, closer to the source, whatever you call it. Maybe we can learn from that. And in each step, being closer. Of course, we're going to have like drawbacks. We all have. But maybe we are every day closer to be better, right? And to be more connected to their true messages. Okay. Have a lovely day, you all. This message is with all the love. Again, I'm not judging any religion, any spiritual movement, any thought. I'm just giving my thoughts. I'm just sharing my thoughts. With all the love, honoring today one of the greatest teachers of humanity, at least from my point of view.